my phone said emergency. It wasn't, hold on, I'm going to bring you down. There we go. It wasn't, it was overheated. That's never happened to my phone. And my phone overheated and shut off. So I just stuck it in the my helpers, they stuck it in the freezer. And I'm in a different spot. I'm actually in the spot right here. This is the spot that I am a lot, where this is reclined and my feet are reclined. Hello. I was probably juicy, right? We left off where it was juicy. Oh my goodness. It was quite the feat. But, I'm saying all this because if someone has to do this, they should be aware of things that they can talk to the doctors and the hospital about. Hello, Sherry. So I left off with I'm one of these people who can't metabolize pain meds, is what they figured out by everything that they gave me. So they brought the big guns in. Hi, Joydy and Muriel, and they figured out Melanie, Annette, Nikki, Dawn, Sherry. I think I've got you. Yes. And so she said, I have to give you Narcan with it because we don't know how your body's going to respond. Hi, Margaret. And she says, it's plus, I don't know, something about law. I don't know. So after she's explaining to Michelle, if he finds me on the not responding or blah, blah, blah to do 2 sprays and da, 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 and then I'll be all right. Like, I'm going to take something that you have to do that. No, no. If we don't know what this is going to do, and I'm one of these people who don't metabolize whatever it is the way you should, I'm not playing. But we had to pick it up because at that point, my pain level was like at a 20. And I hadn't slept since the surgery. And they say, you have to sleep. Leanna, you have to sleep. And so I come home and my son looks at that and looks at them and goes, well, why'd you get Narcan? I got tons of this stuff because he's an emergency response person. And he's like, yeah. But he goes, why do you have this? And I showed him and he looked at it. And he goes, so I don't know what this does. I just respond to people and I bring people back to life. He said, I would like to try not to have to bring my mother back to life, but I will if I have to. And then he was telling Michelle about it. And then he says, if you can manage the pain using the other stuff, plus they gave me a relaxant because they said maybe we can relax your body because my body was all like this and tense and knots, and the pain might be a little less intense and I could fall asleep. So the doctor did say, like maybe try that first. And if that doesn't work, then here you have this. And so my son says, if you don't have to take this, I prefer you not to take this. If the doctor is giving you this, because we're there, yeah, no problem. Yeah, he was worried because, he says, I have no idea. I've never taken this stuff, but I heard it just like you're in somewhere else. I just respond to people who take way too much of this stuff. And so, in any case, the thing is, I didn't use it. I was petrified to use it. Yeah, I was petrified to use it. And at this point, the relaxing stuff, which actually was great, it relaxed me. It was an an antihistamine. It's an old antihistamine drug. Because she had said at this point, if we could just get your body to relax, you might be able to fall asleep because you're used to pain and managing it. But she says the number one thing we need to do, though, is we need to get you up. Yes, you heard me right. We need to get up and running. This is not resting, I'm scolding. Actually, Lisa, I'm doing exactly. Look, my feet are up. This is my position. So, needless to say, I've been to the doctor, the hospital, been to the doctors in emergency, and she says I have to walk. I have to walk. I have to exercise, but not exercise how we think we have to exercise. And what she means is just get the blood pumping, circulation going. And so I was telling her, yeah, I dream about sewing. She goes, oh, you dream about sewing? Start sewing. She says, that foot pedal, great. Don't do the button. The button is not going to help you. The side leg, nope. the old-fashioned press down button. Let's get you pressing that button, but let's not overdo it. So that was my homework, right? Second, like not even 24 hours of surgery. I'm told that I have to walk and do that because my lungs, I was having lung issues that could be a severe complication from being in anesthesia for a while. Uh, and then to the sewing room. Right. Treadle machine. I didn't have a treadle machine. I told her I didn't have a treadle machine, but that would have been a good exercise. Um, so so that was what? That was 24 hours. But she says the good news is that I was coughing. Hello, Deb. And that was helping with my lungs and the exercise that my lungs need after being under anesthesia for a while. Um, so that, but I didn't. I was asleep the next day. My honey did wake me up to make sure I walk. Of course, I was walking to go to the bathroom. I was walking to, um, use the bathroom, take a shower. I can only shower. But I can't bend or anything. So my honey, he had to. I mean, poor man didn't sleep. I think for like 3 days straight. Anytime I would make a noise, even in bed, he looked over. Okay, what can I do? What can I get you? He was managing my round the clock medication. We still are because I have there is nothing there. There's absolutely nothing going on up there. I was trying to text him the times I thought I was going to be helpful and try to text him the times I was taking medication. So we had it under text. And I was texting him crazy stuff. I was texting him, yeah, at 3 o'clock, I took ibuprofen. He's like, no, you didn't. You took Tylenol. I go, yeah, I know I took Tylenol. He goes, okay, but you typed in that you took Advil. Advil is ibuprofen. I'm like, yeah, that's what I took. He goes, no, you took Tylenol, which is acetaminophen. So that we realized, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I mean, he wasn't following that anyway. So, yeah, it's like crazy because I'm talking to you and my mind is scattered. So let's see. So that happened. And then the next day, I was in pain. I was sleeping. I got up a little bit. Didn't do any sewing. That wasn't happening. And then on Saturday, we made an appointment for me to go to the acupuncturist to see, because that's what I use also to manage my pain, to see if that will help since traditional pain meds, yes, I'm drinking lots of water, Michelle. So we went to acupuncture, and that was an hour and a half ride too. Everything is so far from my house. So we did that. I got a little bit of relief. Yeah, I'm going to try again next week, not this week. I just can't. And then Sunday, I was home all day, but I was really, really unusually tired, and I was, I guess, breathing funny towards everyone. And then I went to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, having breathing issues and whatnot. And so when I woke up in the morning, I took my pump, and I woke up in the morning. I called my doctor, and they're like, you have to go to the emergency room. So I spent all my day yesterday in the emergency room, all hooked up. I was really impressed, though. I mean, I showed up. We drove to the further hospital. That's better than the local hospital. It's a little bigger and better hospital. It's about 20 minutes more. So he drove me there. And when I was in to tell the lady, she just kind of looked at me. My honey had gotten a wheelchair to bring me in because that's no way. I was dizzy and everything was spinning and it was a little crazy and I couldn't really breathe right. And so all I know is that this guy came in and he looked at me, hello, Aisha. And he's like, yep, we're not triaging her. We're taking her back to whatever room number, whatever, and stat. And all I know is the lady that he took me from Honey, told Honey he could come. Honey sat down and he was holding me. He says, it's going to be all right. You're in a good place. He was calming me down because at this point, I was having an anxiety and panic attack on top of the stuff I was happening. And I knew that. And then I had a doctor And I had a nurse and another person. I guess the triage guy and the nurse. I was in this room. I've never been in that kind of room before, in an emergency room. It looked like they could do surgery in that room. They had the big lights. They had all these machines going. It was like crazy. And so I don't know. All I know is they had me strapped up on everything in 2 seconds. He called, and then the doctor came in, and he's like, "So, do you have anxiety and panic?" I was like, "Well, I am now." I said, "But that's not what brought me here." As I'm like trying to huff and puff, and he's like, "Calm down, calm down." And so, um, they wanted to do put in IV, and I was being not nice. I was like, please, crying. And I wasn't crying because I really have no emotion, but I was begging her not to stick me with anything for blood or IV because I had just had it. And I know I was being a big fat baby. Like, I wasn't being mean or anything like that. I was just being a baby, a big fat baby. And she's like, well, let me see what if I can get the doctor to give you anything to relax you, because I do see that you're panicking, you can't breathe, and we need you to relax because you need to relax. Everything is elevated. So anyway, so she says, well, can we get urine sample? Like, you don't need to know this. This is probably TMI, but so when she saw that, and she said, well, what kind of surgery? And I showed her. She goes, oh my God, honey, this is, oh my gosh. She goes, your poor little body. And I go, what? And she goes, you should be knowing exactly what just happened to your body. I said, it's best that I didn't know everything. And she goes, well, it's extensive. So she helped me out, and she did her thing. And I think by the time she wheeled me into the bathroom to do everything, because I wasn't going to I was not getting a catheter. Um, they really worked with me because they wanted me to calm down. I got that. And so when Honey got me in there and we helped and we did what we needed to do, I came back and I laid down in my thing and I had calmed down by that point. I had calmed down. And then the nurse came in. I said, okay, I'm done being a baby. You can come take my blood. She goes, you sure? I was like, yes. And then the doctor came. He's like, I'm glad you've calmed down. Now we have to do some serious, like, checking of things. And so he checked my lungs. They had hit AKG. They had someone come into the room and do checks, x-rays. I don't know, people. And so basically they monitored me all day long. And I couldn't leave because I didn't have whatever it was they wanted to be at me at before I leave. So eventually I passed whatever test it was I needed to pass. And all my stuff came back there was no blood clot. They were afraid of that. I was not having a heart attack. They were afraid of that. But the doctor said, yeah, my asthma, it's my asthma. And I hadn't been on my asthma medicine because I had to stop taking my medicine because on my paperwork it says, stop taking this, start taking that. And normally it wouldn't be a problem for me to be off my asthma meds because I'm off my asthma meds in Puerto Rico. I don't have any issues in Puerto Rico medically speaking. So wasn't taking any. So they just said, just let's not take it because, like, you can't mix medicines. But then the ER doctor said, when we went through the medicines, he says, I'm going to prescribe you this other medicine, and then you got to start taking your asthma medicine because at this point of time, my fall asthma really kicks up. So I think in the end, that's what it ended up. Yes, Johnny, I'm alive. I'm alive. So yes, so the asthma, so in the end, but they checked everything. I did have some other little things. They basically I have to get up and walk, and I have to sew. I don't have to sew like sew not sew like I used to. I can't run around and do all that. But I got to get up off this every so often, get up and go to the chair. So my Honey, because I have to stand, right, also. So he put my little featherweight on a old-fashioned cutting table, and he has a little board there, and I cannot use a regular iron. So no speed sewing, no, it's all slow. It's fine. My mind is slow anyway right now. So I have my little I can't think of the iron's name, Aliso iron, and the featherweight and the cutting mat and whatnot, but it's only on So I can't sit down and be comfortable sewing. This is not comfortable sewing. It's actually like exercise sewing. So I have to stand up and do it. So I could stand up and iron, and I have to stand up and sew. And, just kind of move things, but not for long periods of time. It's only just to get things moving because they want to make sure that what the heck is it called? My circulation is better. So, and that might keep my lungs clear. So that's where we're at with that. So my honey, I had a box packed to take with me to Puerto Rico, and it didn't fit. Imagine that, it didn't fit. And so I said, well, the only thing I can think of, honey, is I have a box of scraps that I didn't take to Puerto Rico with me. You can get those out for me. Yes. And so he got them out, and it was a bag of just tulip pink scraps and bright colored scraps. I just went through it. I was petting fabric at that point. I was just playing with it and moving stuff like, oh, this is like fall colors, and this here is this, and I was doing that in bed. And then he's like, okay, it's time for you to iron or get up and walk. And so instead of him bringing everything downstairs, which is what he wanted, they wanted me to go on stairs. I can't go upstairs and downstairs all day. So instead of you bringing all this stuff down, since I have to work on stairs to get my cardiovascular situation going on better, I walked up the stairs. It's slow, but I'm up here, and this is my area of rest while I'm up here. And then you saw I was on the deck because my honey wants me to get sun. He wants to sun me like I need sun. He says, you need sunshine to keep your healing going. I want to see you out in the sun. He's a funny guy. So anyway, so then again, he set up my cutting table. And so I did. I ironed and I sewed. Nothing you're going to see makes sense because I wasn't going by a pattern. I can't really even function and think about putting together a pattern, honestly. I would not be a good pattern tester today. Let's put it that way. But what was in there was a whole lot of strips of all different sizes. And so I just started randomly sewing. And so I have like a block like this. I didn't trim. So what I did was, honey said people probably would have thought this is interesting because he said, I sat there and watched you do this during different times of the day. And it fascinated me how your mind thinks and how you put colors together. And even though you said you can't think, you just kind of just did your thing. And he says it was really interesting to watch. And maybe someone would just like to watch you do this and not even think about it. And so I just took like this. I had this little square piece, and then I had a piece like that was like this size. And then I just put these two together. And then I pressed, and then I put this piece was a strip. I put that there. And then this here, and then I had this, a strip of this. Hello, Giovanna, and this. So I don't know how many days. So like I just randomly took things. And then I said, oh, look at this piece is fun. And I started doing that. And my honey's like, wait a second. You have selvage in there. You forgot to cut out the selvage, honey. You got to cut out the selvage. I said, yeah, you're right. Normally I do, but I don't care. And it's cute. It's got look at that. It's got little acorns on there. I just thought that was super sweet. And I said, I don't care. It's going in here. Hi, Giovanna. He's not the quilt police, but I guess he was having a quilt police moment. So, yeah. So, and then look at that. Look how cute that is. So, so that's what I was doing. So, I worked on these again today. Hi, Katie. Some things were like a strip set. I think this was a part of a strip set, and then I just added to it. I really love this. So this was Tula Pink scraps from another project. So we're not talking big scraps. It was just happens to be Tula Pink fabric from projects that I had done before. And now look at this. And look, the selvage on there says Tiny Beasts. Well, I had to keep that in there. That was just too cute. And I think that would be so cute in the quilt because then it kind of tells you it's a Tula Pink quilt. I don't care. It's a piece of selvage. I liked it. And anyway, so what I was doing is basically crumb quilting, I guess, whatever you want to call it, or strip quilting. And I cut everything down. And yes, I left this little piece of selvage too. I cut everything down to 6.5. How do you, I hope you feel better. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. They think because I don't respond to pain meds that this is like almost the best therapy for me right now with the pain, and it also gets me up out of the bed because when I'm in bed I'm in pain, and when I'm standing I'm in pain. So if they had to choose which one, they rather that I'm walking in pain per se, but not overdoing it, and sewing a little, because if I lay in bed, things can get into my lungs, and my heart is, they need me to be up and at them. So in this case, that's, and I feel bad because you know what? I'll show you some more, but I'm never going to get to the ginger quilter box. I might have to do that tomorrow. If you don't see me, it's not, you don't freak out. It's just, I felt better and I took a shower and stuff. But you might see these are Tula Pink, but this was from something else, and I just pulled that out of the scraps. This was, but believe it or not, a little strip set from a 5-yard quilt I made. And then these were from the butterfly. Remember the butterfly panel challenge? That's what these were from, this color. Thank you. And this here, I used this fabric when I did the showstopper. But yeah, so this is kind of the stuff that I've been doing. Nothing to blow anybody's mind, but it in a way is a therapy. But I do get tired. I'm going to show you this couple more because guess what? And I know they are on right now, but Fabric Cafe is on right now. They're doing a live, and they're giving stuff away. So I want you all to go over there and win some stuff. And then I'm going to just show you a couple, one other. See these? These were 6.5-inch blocks that I used in a quilt that we did on this channel. So I had some of these left over in that scrap box that I was taking to Puerto Rico. You prefer being with me? Well, thank you. I'll show you a couple more. They're very, they're super nice. I don't know. When I'm feeling better, we'll put them on a design board. Right now, I'm not there. But, we'll put them on a design wall and we will play because there's going to be just a lot of this kind of stuff happening. Just this, this kind of quilting. Okay, so you can't either, Katie. So do you not metabolize them as well? My problem is none of my business. I have no business asking you that. I have no filter. My head is, anyway, I can't metabolize pain meds. It's not only that. There's other pain meds that I've not been able to metabolize. So look at that little hedgehog. Oh, see, I'm tired already. So in any case, that is, so that whole bag, I actually went through the whole bag and sewed up. So look at this. This is a potato chip block. This is a potato chip block. And another one. Because I had these 4.5 by 2.5-inch pieces. And so what I figured is the potato, I couldn't get a 6.5-inch potato chip block. So this is 12.5. And what I thought is I could take 4 of these and make this into a 12.5-inch patch. And then just kind of, I don't know, I'm going to somehow work these into it. I don't know how, but I will eventually. I'll work into it. These you saw. And this is what I had left of my bag of Tula scraps that I couldn't even make into a 6.5-inch block. So that's going to have to go. And then I have jelly sticks, jelly rolls. So I have 6. I think I have 6. I think I have 6 jelly strips, and they're mostly yellow. One is this. And I figured I could use this for border around whatever whimsical thing I'm doing. And I do have a pile. Look, I have another pile. And remember, this was not done today or yesterday. This has been like 3 days of just random. And some of this stuff was already done. Some of this was already in there. And I want to say bleached it, but that's not the right word. I starched it and just cut it down to 6.5-inch. Hi, Mona. Well, you know what? For those of you who want to go over to Fabric Cafe, go over there. They're giving away stuff. You can tell them, though, that I sent you over there. Tell Fran I sent you over there. I got to tell you, before surgery, I did 2 quilts for her. I don't even know how I did that. I did 2 quilts in a day. I think I'm like a lunatic. This is like had come home from Puerto Rico, and I had 2 days before my surgery, and somehow one of those days I created 2 pieces for them. I'm feeling okay. I'm tired a little bit, but I am also forcing myself to go up and sew, believe it or not, to get my my circulation and my lungs. Right now, the surgery's fine. They're more concerned with my legs and my lungs and my circulation. So we're getting and that I'm calm and relaxed. So that's the big thing. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, so like look at these. These are fun. This has nothing to do with Tula Pink, but it's going in that quilt. It has this Tula Pink, but that's not Tula. But it was just a scrap that I had found in there. And I just played. But look at these fishies. I think these fishies are so bright and cheerful. Again, have no idea what this is going. It's going to make a cheery quilt. And look at that one. Isn't that cool? That was soft for some, I don't even know. Just making stuff up as I go. But in any case, so let's go. Let me just do this because I want to just get it. Isn't it adorable, Nikki? I thought so too. All right. So this here is the Ginger Quilter box from July. From July. Farmer's Market box. July. So there's another thing that's happening to me. I wear glasses to see. And everything is fuzzy. I've told them that. And I don't know. Because I have this malaise feeling. So, needless to say, that's another thing I'm dealing with. So, I'm not reading that because it hurts me too much to read that. But this is cool. I'm going to show you what's in here. Look at this. Everyday quilted tote. This is right up your alley, Mona. This is right up your alley. There's a small tote and a large tote. And it looks like goobly gob to me right now. If I really pay attention really hard, things are clear. It's all fuzzy, but this is cool. This is an everyday quilted tote. I think Natalie's telling me I need to make a tote. Just not up for it right now, Natalie. It's super cute. Super cute tote. Oh, I may be up for this, though. Look at these. Acai. And watermelon. These are face masks. We can do that. We can do face masks. Okay. Oh, she's giving us a zipper. Here's a zipper. And we have this. Okay, so when I'm feeling better, I feel like I have to make a tote now. Yes, right? So we have this. This is really neat. Okay. Ooh. So we have this. And we have this. So we have some of this fabric. Look at that. We have this fabric here, which is Art Gallery Fabrics. And I have no idea, but it's Art Gallery. So we have that. We have this. Isn't that beautiful? What? Let's see if I can find this. This is Art Gallery. And I have no idea. It doesn't say. And we have this. And this is Art Gallery. This says floral-ish. Oh, floral-ish. So this must be the line floral-ish. Because I see the selvage has this little cherry on there, and these all had a cherry. So it's floral-ish. Floral-ish. Okay. And microwave popcorn. Microwave popcorn. Sand dollars. I was thinking lemons, but you're probably right. It's probably sand dollars. Or floral-ish, some kind of floral. Well, wait a second. We've got a tote, and we have a face mask, and we have popcorn. Now I'm intrigued. I have to sit here and think about it, but I'm intrigued. All right, what does everything have? I really have to like focus. I can't read it because it's giving me a little bit of a headache, but I kind of want to know. Okay, here we go. What about the corn? Do we make the corn in that bag, or do we just do that separate? I think the corn is separate. I thought that was for popping the corn in. I thought the bag was that you put the corn in there and then you make the bag, you know? You ever see that? Spa day, yes. I have a spa day, yes. Lynn sent me everything for a spa day. Wait a second. There's no zipper on this zipper. Is this zipper supposed to have right? Doesn't zipper, maybe, did I miss something? Hold on. Oh, wait a second. Oh, maybe it fell out. Oh, here it is. Hardware. There it is. We've got hardware. Sorry. That threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait a second. There's a zipper there. Zippers freak me out. We all know that. But I will figure it out. Not anytime soon, Natalie. Cut this woman a break. She'll give me a break. And then I have her August box. And I'll open that August box another day, another time. I'm probably not tomorrow, but, you know, you'll see me. I just wanted you to see. I'm resting. I'm just so happy I had to say hi to you all because I've been to so many doctors, hospitals, and I just needed to say hi to you all, which is crazy because I don't see you, but I see you in chat. And it's so much better because I can kind of read it better here too. So everyone, thank you for coming on. Second part 2, because part 1 will tell you some. Part 2 will tell you another. And part 3, the next time I see you, we'll talk about Abuelita. Just not today. I have a headache now. We'll talk about Abuelita the next time. Let's just put it this way. Abuelita and I think we crossed paths. It was a very strange thing. Everybody else knew. I was the last one to know about my abuelita. Um, but the way my surgery got delayed and when she passed, it all happened at the same time, which is interesting. So we'll have a discussion about that another day. So thank you all for coming and joining and lifting up my spirits. Thank you, Lynn, from Soft Squares for the gifts. And thank you, Helen, for the card. And thank you all for every single one of you who have been on here, and you have all sent me beautiful notes and emails that I haven't even gone to because it's just too much for my brain. If you saw how many emails I have to respond, not from you guys. You guys, I read them, and if it's something urgent, I will reply soon. I'm not talking about that, but like I don't know how to explain it. Like work emails that has nothing to do with you guys. It has to do with my job. It'll blow your mind. And you know what? I don't have to worry about that for 8 weeks. So I'm just putting that aside. So, anyway, thank you all. I really appreciate all of you, your lovely emails. I will get back to you on those emails. Just, it's going to take me a little bit with my vision and everything. So, take care. I will see you soon. I'm going to go over to Fabric Cafe right now and say hi to Fran if she's still on. And if you go over there, let her know I sent you. Everyone take care, and I will see you the next time I have a moment and everybody's able, and I'm having a good day today. So that's the plus. I'm having a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.